your more core anchor player, carry us the game is on the bristleback, because this hero's going to want a lot of farm in this game.
Okay. So big things to watch out for in this game. I'm assuming, obviously, the pressure that Ramses is able to apply throughout the game. What is he able to get done? Oftentimes we talk about Broodmother being a falling off hero. Do you think that's the case in this game?
I don't think there's any major concerns heading later, right? Tiny and Mirana feels pretty good. I think as long as they just have their momentum going, where you're looking towards those early Roches, Ramses just loves to get this medallion going. I don't know if he's going to opt in towards more of his classic build, where he just goes for the Mask of Madness and the BKB, or if he's more into this new strategy where they have the medallion into the Diffusal Blade. Either way, he can either become this fighting Broodmother or more objective-based. It looks like in their earlier game, he did opt for the Diffusal, so he's kind of into this new strat as well.
Okay.
And finish the game.
One and an early smoke out from Virtus.pro, as they are going to be trying to get down some wards and possibly find themselves a kill. Again, Nightmare set up so deadly if you're able to follow it, and they have all the heroes in the world to make it happen.
Yeah, you can see Ramses coming mid too, just getting his web down. Also, the other good part about running like that is that you can scare it if someone's smoked and trying to ward for your mid.
Thought there for a second that they're going to find mid one, but he does back out at the last second. Is able to escape the clutches of a solo Nightmare. Yeah, Roger doesn't look like he's going to be able to spot any warding going down, as there was one placed in the bottom lane for Secret, as well as another one up there to the top side. And that kind of an interesting ward there. Gives some really good vision just sneaking through those trees.
And lanes appear to be pretty much exactly what we'd expect. This Earth Spirit tends to come up into the off lane, try and get a kill with the Venge and the Weaver, and then one of the two will rotate down bottom with the DK, more than likely. I think it might end up being the Venge. It kind of depends on how the first couple kills go, but yeah. They've now made that aggressive maneuver, and they're going to secure both runes up top. But similarly down bottom, they'll get the both runes for Virtus.pro.
Trade-off begins, and looks like Secret going to be bringing a couple of their supports up there to see if they can harass. As we do see mid lane, mid one, just start to move over and get into position. So I'm not sure if maybe Yapsor and Puppy want to try and push back no one, but he's already under the tower, so he should be fine.
Yeah, perhaps hoping for a little bit harass as he came through with the wave, but just nothing. And we're gonna attempt this instant kill.
I mean, if nothing else, no one is not having a good time here.
Oh, Solo instantly dewards the ward they head back there. It's gonna hurt them, and Yapsor will TP out.
Alright, the backup, the runaway. Solo just hanging on to his tree as the wave of terror spam is going to continue. Now, this is a strong lane, particularly if you're just up against one person. Against two, I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to work.
Well, Shikuchi has all this value because you can pretty easily get it on two heroes. Like, they have to split up a little bit there on Virtus.pro just to ensure that it's hard to last hit and harass both heroes with it. But similarly with the Wave of Terror, you can also kind of hit that on two heroes as well. So there's a lot of value right now in terms of the mana to HP ratio. And there's not too much regen. There's only one set of tangos there on Solo, and then a salve and only one tango left now for no one.
We already talked about the armor issues that no one is going to have on this Tiny, although he did bring a stick into lane, so that'll be a little bit better. As far as mid lane is concerned, 8-1, 9-1 now on the Bristleback versus 5-1 of the Brood. Don't know if many of those were spiders, but nonetheless, mid one's going to have a fine time in this lane, it feels like.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to save all your spiders. They're not worth that much anymore. It's like 9 each, but you still don't want to just be feeding them away for free, and Ramsey is currently losing quite a few of them.
Mention it. Fair bit of life, but with the stick, he shouldn't ever really go down unless there's some heavy misplays or a rotation in this one, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's just so fast. Like, he would just have to get way too greedy, or if he tries to man up on the bristle and that count starts going, but you're already committed, one of those situations would be how he goes.
Solo. Running into a lot of these heroes. They're going to throw out the magic missile, but a good Abba toss, and then just toss to the tree, and they're going to back out.
So just some trading back and forth. Good thing there wasn't a Bloodseeker in this game, because can be some seriously low HP heroes throughout this laning stage. Bottom lane's been pretty quiet, very reserved play here so far. Fada just kind of tanking some damage, but now at level 2.5, so once he gets 3, he'll be feeling very safe. 2 points into the old Dragon Blood. And YapzOr is just getting levels. He's got the same amount of experience as his DK, and if you can get some free levels on Earth Spirit like this, even though you're not getting kills, at least nothing bad's happening to your core. Like, they just chuck an arrow like that, and Fada even body blocks it. Stop him hitting the neutral.
No one, though, up in the top lane finds himself Puppy, and that is going to be first blood, although if no one goes down here, it's definitely not worth it. It doesn't look like they want to go for the dive. Stick charges would have kept him alive.
Oh, again down bottom, they're going to go for another arrow.
It's a good bit of damage, but this is a tanky DK. And the stun, it connects onto 2 of them now. Just going to get the walk away. Bata still living.
Yeah, not a whole lot they can do here. Oh, sorry. Good play.
I mean, there's a lot of fun little things that you can do this matchup, right? Like pump fake the torrent, those types of things. But he did fight.
No, and despite all this spam, they don't have the stick yet. YapzOr probably going to pick it up now, although he definitely wants his boots first, so won't be able to quite get it. At least then you know when the spam is real from the torrent.
Yeah. Well, and Ramsey's now just going to cut the creep wave back behind the tower. Realizes it's dangerous dealing with the bristleback, although mid one is going to head back here and just try to keep the pressure on this.
Brood issues, though. Well, what's he going to do? Does he want to farm spiders, or does he want to farm the wave? Because I can tell you which one's worth more.
That's true.
It's the wave. He's kind of trying to like play both, where he's getting the experience from the tower and trying to harass the broodmother, but this is what's so frustrating about this hero. Like, no matter what you do, she will just dodge you completely.
God, and up top, it's just been a bloodbath back and forth. I mean, not a whole lot of kills, but they're punching each other a whole heck of a lot. And still not a great chance for a kill as of yet. About 5 minutes in, though, we're getting close towards those first rounds of runes. No one. They could go for a toss back here, as they already have been able to find it 1 round of it, and, well, just a runaway.
Yeah, pretty hard to secure any sort of a kill right now. And the 5-minute bounty runes can be very important up here with that bottle on Ace. So we're going to be looking for them to try and make a play there. They're actually glyphing the wave, because it's just delaying it further, right? Where it's like diving back behind the tower, it's pushing them back from the bounty runes. I'd love to see solo contest. I think, he's going to come up for this.
Quick movement forward. Obviously, with 2 points of Nightmare, he can secure this one, although Weaver going for the Sakuchi already, and meanwhile, going with the Magic Missile, possibly it's a lot of minus armor on these heroes, but they're still going to be able to get it. Just the strength of those nukes, they force them back.
Man, that was so well played. I don't know if that was just for this lane. That's what it looked like. But if you're glyphing like that, to force them back so they can't get the rune for the bottle, that just hurt Ace so much. Think about the investment he has, and this item is just worthless for him right now.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, and again, it's just the type of thing where it's really high-level play coming in from Virtus.pro. They know what it is that you're trying to get out of this dual lane. It's not happening. Mid lane again, mid one. It's been able to force Ramses away, and he's right now farming up the jungle as the arrow goes out. Going to miss. Chance for a catch, but
still just the 1 kill. This is definitely the quietest game we have cast so far, and not what I was expecting from Virtus.pro and Team Secret.
Don't worry, it's all going to pop off here in a second, I'm sure. And actually, Solo's going to rotate mid. I don't know what the goal is there.
There's just some experience here. There's a full catapult. Okay. You know, just hang out. Make sure mid one can't just really push the tower. Sweet, sweet catapult experience. And rune's going to end up being bottom. Will be found here by Roger.
Ramsey's again going to cut this wave. Level 6 for him, has the Soul Ring and Bassi. Yeah, there's a lot of these spiders.
He's just feeding them into the tower. He's like, free gold, thank you.
And he's happy as a clam. He's just going to dodge away that courier. But mid one, he's just such a fast hero. I would love to see eventually the Earth Spirit rotate, because I think DK can survive at least fairly well in this lane if the lane's pushed under the tower. But
I think the problem is, what would YapzOr do? Like, I don't think they have enough control to get a kill. It's going to be 1 single stun.
Top lane, they find themselves Puppy yet again. No one able to pick up that kill. And even though there are bugs, there's damage from Sakuchi, it's hard to make something happen here against these heroes, although he's just going to try. He will have another Sakuchi in a second, but Brain Sap heals him back up.
Solo is putting in so much work right now. Very efficient hero, the Bane, the Brain Saps. Can trade, and suddenly you have all this HP back. They're losing HP.
Which we'll have to see. So CS so far, you can see it's kind of into the favor, I would say, of Virtus.pro a little bit more, just because the CS from the Bristleback isn't necessarily what it seems. He is still top net worth by about 200, but I'd say that both teams fairly okay with where they're at.
Yeah, the Bristle's definitely benefiting from the spiders, ended up putting him a little bit ahead, but not a big deal. And again, up top, Ace. Getting a little bit low, but now he can play aggressive.
Yeah, going in for this one. Scucci, all of this minus armor. This is why this lane is so tough, but with the brain zap, he overextends.
He holds that for so long every time. And cooldown only 12 seconds right now.
It's a nice little chunk of change from Med 1. Unfortunately, it's only three gold every single time he kills one of those fighters. That one hurts.
Oh, he gets back to tower time though, so
Okay.
all worth it in the end. Question is, what is Midwall going to be able to do in this one? He's building up straight for the Vanguard first. A classic versus sort of a brood lineup. It's also fine versus just like the Tiny 2. So
Dire's middle
a little bit handy.
under attack.
Looks like he's not even sure if he's going to commit for it, honestly. Feels like a great Radiance game if you could get it. But most games are a great Radiance game if you can get it.
That's fair.
Smoked up Roger. He'll now be scouted out by this ward. But not really a whole lot for Poppy to go on here, and Roger's going to leave, in fact.
Instead, it's going to be Mid 1 sort of pressuring this tower. Roger does have 2 points in the Torrent, 2 points in X, so, you know, if they want to make something happen, they find a stun with the leap away. This is the first Dragon Knight ulti, though, and Fatsa's going to try and get some pressure on, but Ramses is rotate down, and now they don't have a creep play that after this first one dies. Meanwhile, top lane, they find a kill on a Weaver. Put an observer to work right now as there's action happening all over the map.
It's Broodmother. This is why they can first phase it. Like, well, what can you pick that stops this, you know? It's just, he's not playing near any of your heroes. They just have support showing up to the wave, catching it. Bristleback can't just, like, solo push this tower unless he fully commits into the Vanguard, and then he can try and tank it up, like, infinitely. But then he's running into other risks because of the initiation range of something like this Kunkka. Very frustrating to deal with.
And Ramses, meanwhile, doesn't even necessarily have to take that tower because he's farming up the whole rest of the map, the jungle, and waves.
Yeah, Yapsor's coming over now, but he's still just level 4. He really needs that tome if he plans on making any sort of plays.
One just slowly lumbering along, trying to chase the Broodmother. And it is happening.
Radiant's middle
Sort of
tower is under
harrying him
attack.
around the map. But this is kind of just going to be the Ramses show for a little while. Does what he wants, eventually pushes a tower when there's rotations elsewhere. As we get close to this 10-minute mark, it looks like we might have a battle for the runes around bottom as they jump forward immediate with a stun silence. They find themselves a good bit of damage there as Pasha going to leap away, get himself the bounty rune, roll forward a little bit off the mark, and it looks like Pasha should be able to escape.
Yeah, Ace is able to get bottled up this time too, so much better for him. But bottom lane, mid one, a little bit deep here. They're making the rotations.
They've got the feed script. I already caught him with no one coming in as well. They got the Avatar's more than enough damage. Take him down, and with the catapult, they can maybe do something else. As bottom lane, they find themselves another stun. The silence, no leaping away this time. Although breathe fire, it is up. They got him.
Just enough to secure it, but there is going to be an X. Solo, he's got level 3 in that brain sap.
God, so much pure damage. And of course, with the high armor, it's really hard to take down this hero. But with a Nightmare and a walk forward, they might be able to do it. Trading over the Nightmare. Fatsa trying to run. He does not have enough mana to TP. He does have a Soul Ring back up, but it's going to be a kill. They just dropped out an Observer Ward. The least vision in the world, but it's where they needed it, and they kill him.
All right, slightly excessive top lane swap for Poppy, trying to survive here. Oh, raindrops keeping him up. Now, can he find the sneaky TP? Oh, the next level play. There it is. Just don't move.
That was so close. And while this is happening, mid one's trying to get some pressure on the tower, but it started to ramp up a little bit, and it feels like VP are rolling 3K in the lead as far as net worth goes.
I keep bringing the spiders on the dire side. It's like Ramses comes back over, like, oh yeah, right. This is, played so far deep on the radius now. And okay, nice initiation. Actually catches the roll despite the speed of the spider.
He wants to reapply Magnetize. He gets it now, and it's onto all the spiders as well. The damage, he gets another round of it. That should be enough to take down Ramses. Puppy also in the area. They get the kill.
Came up with the greedy ult play there, but there were no Ancients there, at least not enough to sustain him.
And now the boat. It is going to be a kill onto Yapsor, so a little bit of return volley of action for Virtus.pro, but losing the spider hurts. Mid lane, they don't have a vote this time. It's going to be hard to kill, yeah, and they're just doing this to secure a rune for no one.
Who also has a Blink Dagger now, too. So he can definitely blow up this Weaver. Ace, under 800 HP at the moment. Has not purchased a whole lot of stats. He got 3 strength from that ring.
And look at how much the
from the
win
wand.
probability shifts also, up to 70% after that kill on the Broodmother. So apparently, DOTA Plus is feeling pretty confident. Another Fiend Script used mid though, and the swap to try and keep him alive. He's still gripped, but from a little bit further away, and that is going to secure the Bristleback's retreat. It should at least, although they are bringing in another, the arrow. Not quite going to connect onto the Bristleback. They get the toss back though, able to find him. Mid one not tanky enough for every single hero on VP.
Yeah, Ramsey actually still has the defusal up too. They wanted to dive a little bit further, but they don't spot the right target. But I mean, that's not even their full arsenal. Like, there's no boat being used there. So very scary stuff that they can blow up that Bristleback so easily, even after the Vanguard. Now he needs to go into the Hood too. And this time we will. So we talked about the Weaver knocking Hood the other day when we were watching our Weaver game. So see how much survivability this helps Ace. And you pointed out during the draft just this idea of the Lincoln Sphere having quite a few targets to pop it. So not a very guaranteed way to safety for him.
And they are going to be moving in here towards the Spider. It's a wraparound from Solo. They actually managed to stun Tiny off on the side with the boulder kick through, so he can't get there in time. But now the Avatar shows up. He finds himself the Absor. He's almost dead, but the secondary stun, he is still going to fall. They managed to get a kill onto Solo. Just supports dying so far. While the battle is going to continue. They take down Puppy. Ace showing up. Don't know if he's going to be able to make anything else happen here, though.
Did you see Solo? Do you see what he did in that fight? Do you see him nightmare him and dodge that bench stun? This guy, he's ridiculous. I don't know how he does it. Best Bane player that's ever lived. For the team, you know, he goes down, helping them out. Very good swing for them still. Helping that Mirana too. Make sure Pasha can try and catch up and become relevant in this one, as he looks to be building in towards Maelstrom.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That's
attack.
what you want to see.
So hasted up Tiny here. Yeah, let's go. Oh, this Weaver, dude. No one, does he have the cooldowns? This Weaver shows up, he is so dead.
Yeah, I think he has an inkling that something is going on.
This ward, it might.
Oh god, no one! He's coming for him, Abba! It's not quite there. Oh jeez. Hide Ace.
Use the ward!
No, use the ward! He walked back into it! Oh, Ace has found the X Torrent. Oh, they missed the combo a little bit off the
They
mark.
missed a whole lot of stuff right there. Even the dust didn't hit.
Alright, that is the most value ward that's ever been placed in the woods, but it doesn't pay off that time.
Goodness gracious. I don't know what happened. That went from the best to the worst very quickly. And they're going to end up losing the mid tower too, as they start pushing the bottom for an exchange, but not a very good trade there for old Virtus.pro.
Now, another round of bounty runes secured. Pasha able to get both of those ones up there. So VP, all around the map, they're getting that gold.
Yeah, that's a lot of red there on the bounty feed. Very good stuff. And they will now secure that tower after the sustained push down bottom. No one building in towards the Shadow Blade, as one would expect. The eventual Silver Edge, just so much value this game versus DK and the Bristleback.
So, you know, a lot of times when you see this kill score, 4 to 10, a 4,000 net worth lead, it feels like it's like an insurmountable lead in this patch. But in this game, I do feel like Secret have a lot of the tools that they would need to take the fights, and it's not just like a foregone conclusion that if VP get to the late game, they're going to win.
Yeah, it's a bit of a, it's like an out game sort of, where it's like, yeah, there's a net worth lead, but it's a brute. So it's like, there should be kind of this net worth lead thing going on. But in order for Secret to keep themselves in it, they just need to start using the power of this Dragonite, which you can see they're doing now. They're going to push down this tower, and then I want to see them use all this minus armor they have to also secure Roche for themselves. But it won't be a very easy Roche fight, right? You're fighting up against Moonlight Shadows, you got to make sure you have your detection. Oh yeah.
They use the grip, they use the boat, they use everything on mid one, but the stun comes in. All the spiders are showing up now as well. Mid one's so low and is going to die.
It's one of those cases where if you have just like one defensive hero, I mean the swap of course would have saved it, but like just those little heals, they always feel so strong against something like Bristleback. Like you want them chasing where it's just like, oh, we almost got the kill, oh, we almost got the kill, and like you keep going deeper and deeper, but right there, like once they start the initiation on them, what slows them down?
Nothing.
It feels like nothing, right? Like one kick flies through from the Absor.
Bottom lane, they find Puppy again. Miss on the Avalanche, which does mean that Puppy will escape for the moment, and with the rest of the heroes from VP showing up, Roger isn't even bothering to go after him, apparently. Puppy pops the shrine, but stuns the wrong Tiny, and, well, he was always going to die.
Not a lot of options there. They will deny mid.
Radiant's middle tower.
The spiders all there. Very well timed.
Yeah.
And a smoke now from Puppy being purchased, so I think they're likely going to try and make a play around that Roche pit, but again, problems for it. They have the AoE from the Tiny, you have the Moonlight Shadow, you're going to have a Kunkka. And then on top of that, there's just this Broodmother who, if they, like, let's say Secret try and go for this Roche play and it's spotted by Virtus.pro, Ramses is just going to play that entire box at the bottom of the map and just secure all of that while they're trying to, like, posture around Roche, you know? And start forcing them into tier 2s, even a little bit of damage on the tier 3s. And those are the kind of things you'd have to worry about.
Yeah, it's not often thought of. Like, people tend to talk about the top side of the map because that's where Roche is, but because Roche is up there, it also just opens up this entire other side of the map. That's what we saw Fnatic do a lot leading up to this when they're trying to get back into the game. I guess it sort of works the same way even if you're in the lead, where you can apply that pressure there and then sort of pull the enemies to that side of the map. So,
Radiant are scanning.
18 minutes in, 5-12, and we'll see indeed where VP want to go. And it's just continuing to be Ace sort of farming in these somewhat dangerous areas away from the rest of his team while the rest of Secret make a move.
They've smoked up here. Fada has that Blink Dagger, but they don't have the most burst damage between these three heroes. Something like a Kunkka, this is a pretty nice dagger for them, but I wager he's going to be out of here in time.
Oh, yeah. He is just gone. Not often that you see the, I guess that you always see it pretty much on support Kunkka now, but the 6 armor talent, really good at level 10.
Yep, very handy, especially in a game like this. I don't think his right clicks are going to matter too much as support Kunkka, so.
No.
Ace has finally made his decision on what he wants to go for. He's eyeing up that Diffusal Blade.
They do pop the Moonlight Shadow now. No one spotted Ace and knows he's going to be going over to the second camp here as well. And, well, Ace playing it safe for the moment. He walks through, but they're there immediately. Ava, toss, gets the kill, even as the Sakuchi came out and farms his camp for good measure.
Thought he might be able to get off the time lapse there. It's a little bit close, but
top tower is under attack.
yes, not quite there. So they actually hit the arrow right away, but they don't have enough follow-up here, even with the Fiend's Grip, especially with all the support coming in. I'm sure Midland's kind of hoping they would lead up onto him there, and they'll just be driven back here. There's one. Maybe he can force a fight. Yapsor has a lot of range.
I mean, he's just going to TP away, so a little late to the party. Yapsor can't get there in time.
Yeah, not quite the communication there. So, meanwhile, Ramses has picked up a BKB, shoving in that mid lane, and he's going to force them back to this tower.
Yeah, this is really bad. I mean, they keep on having to rotate so many heroes when they go together, and as you said, it just frees up this bottom half of the map, this box for Ramses to farm away. Such a tough thing for them to do, and then in the meantime, the rest of the heroes are farming as well.
They have vision on Fada up top here. They watch him walk right in that camp, but the ult there tanks the arrow.
Oh, and they find the stun on it too, also able to get the magnetize onto no one, chasing down the Mirana, but the Torrent is going to save their life. The boat connects too. Are they going to get anybody?
They got the Hellbear.
They got him already.
I mean, so VP come out on top on that one. That's a net worth gain for Virtus.pro.
And in the meantime, again, Ramses pushing for the tier 3 tower. Dealing a good bit of damage here. And Secret just can't really get back and defend quickly enough before the tower's already taken a ton of damage.
And they can see that there was no one there. So Roger went and he put the Torrent in the Roche pit. And that secured the fact that they knew that they didn't just instantly go to Roche. And that's why Ramses starts backing away just as the reinforcements were coming.
Although they do turn this back around, trying to take down Puppey, going to throw one of the webs, which gives the extra movement speed. Solo also under a little bit of fire. They find the Torrent now onto Fada as Solo is going to die. So they are simultaneously able to secure these little kills while making sure the Brood gets away.
Yep, Solo just kind of feeding the body once again. And you now have Ramses up to 2k gold with a 10-second BKB. And Pasha eyeing one up for himself there, you can see.
Yeah, they're really having a great time now. You take a look at sort of the way the net worth is looking. 8,000 gold lead for Virtus.pro, and that line is all going downhill at this point for Team Secret. And, you know, this is sort of what is so strong about VP. This is a second pick Broodmother, and they're still making it work like this.
Yeah, it feels like Secret just can't get any plays really with his Dragonite. Like, they picked lanes that didn't necessarily lose super hard, but I don't know how they try and get around this map to make something happen.
Thinking about mid lane. Roger here with the boat, with the Torrent, with the X, all laid down onto the head of this Bristleback as no one shows up as well. People trying to TP over and make something happen, but, well, Puppey actually able to get the swap. They need to break this Fiend's Grip. He's still living through it for a good bit of time, but eventually it will be found, will be killed, late to the party, and no way to save mid one.
Jeez, that arrow.
That was really close.
Yeah, supports came in very late there. So I think they either thought that he was 100% dead or he was going to get away, and then you start TPing in like 2 seconds late. doesn't usually end up too well. So that allows them to just back right up into the Roche pit. No chance they can contest. They can attempt to play maybe from Yapsor, but at this point you're just throwing away some more gold. Very unlikely you're going to snag this Aegis, and frankly I don't think they even need the Aegis to go high ground. I think it was much more about Secret needing this Aegis to try and get back into this one.
Radiant's bottom tower has been denied.
So 22 minutes in and a 9,000 gold lead. Virtus.pro exactly where they want to be. The question is, I mean, there is still a tier 1 tower and tier 2 top lane. Is it worth investing in taking those out, or do you think you just try and go for like dominating the map and maybe high ground if you find some pickoffs?
I think that with the assassination potential they have between a Kunkka and the Tiny, that I would take care of those towers and just control the rest of the map. But Kunkka will get picked off here, wandering out on his own under some vision from the Radiant. They instantly smoke. It looks like he saw the smoke, actually, because he just pinged it, so he still had like some lingering vision going on there.
It sort of forces VP back at the very least, and well, it looks like Ramses is still comfortable farming up the jungle here.
I almost found him. Very close.
God, it's just so hard to deal with this Broodmother. Like, the free movement, the fact that it's not invisible, you can still hide in the trees.
They're trying to start a full 5v5, well, I guess it'd be 5v4, but just a fight where all of Secret are actually there, because they haven't really had that yet. So they've got Midone in the front, posturing like a bristleback should. He has this Crimson Guard, he has his hood, he's looking towards that Radiance for the eventual victory here, and they're going to go with solo.
Roll in. They smoked under vision, but they're still willing to take that fight, just feeling confident about how they're playing.
This is what they need, like little skirmishes, right? They never want to fight on an even playing ground because they're 9k behind. So anytime that they can fight with a numbers advantage, they need to take it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, VP with the Aegis, and they're not really carrying it all. Secret is still just running it and say, deal with this push, the 5-man pressure that's coming from us.
Oh, look, they're trying to kind of lure Pasha here by keeping this wave alive, too. But he is double leap into TP, but they have an Earth Spirit. I don't think he can get out of here now.
Silence, he's caught, he's stunned. Pasha, what you doing, buddy?
Was so greedy. My God.
All right, Secret have turned it up the last couple of minutes. Like mid-1, he has a Crimson Guard. Now he's
Pro have turned it down. I don't know how much you can credit the Secret on this.
And at least they're running at him. Another smoke used as they're going to TP. They're anticipating somebody up in the top side. And actually, immediate TP over from Solo. So they will run into the Bane.
I just wanted a bounty rune. Run! Oh. I really like how they're just playing this, like, complete group up Dota. Smoked up Yapsor down bottom. Wants his banner and he's gonna get out. Oh, but Tiny's on the chase.
He does have another kick. He throws it back, hits the spiders. Ava toss, connects there, and well, Yapsor with 6 seconds left on the roll away is not going to be able to escape. Back mid lane, they found him. A nice catch there as, well, Solo pays for that bounty rune he got earlier.
Suddenly it's only 16-10. Kills starting to even up a bit here, only a 5k lead. Dropping like flies inside of Virtus.pro, and now they're the ones who are pressing forward into a 4v4 scenario, but buyback is available for the Earth Spirit, and he will certainly use it if the fight comes anywhere near a spot he can TP to. Not an expensive thing to spend.
I mean, how many teams are going to make that call, though, that like, all right, VP, they just got the Aegis, let's run at them. You know, I guess that it's sort of like the meta game that is evolving before, where teams would say, okay, we don't want to go in 5-man right away as soon as we get the Aegis because teams aren't going to want to fight us, so we're going to spread out and farm. And when that happens, now it's sort of the second answer in the game theory that is Aegis, where, all right, let's just run at them because they're all going to be spread out and farming.
Sure, but I'm not giving that to the Pasha death.
Okay, fair enough.
I had less problems with the first two.
Yeah.
Well, Secret able to leave their base, still holding on to the tier 2. They did lose that tier 1 in the top lane, so starting to lose some of their territory that does remain, but for now they can still control up the Ancients.
Oh, Ramses getting towards a butterfly after the BKB Diffusal Blade. Be quite difficult to deal with. Nice bit of armor and damage, and of course that evasion.
Oh, okay, here we go. So they have the Silver Edge ready, but they also have a sentry down, looking for that stop onto the no one Tiny.
Oh, this is so good. If they can sort this out and bait out a movement, but no one realizes.
Yeah. creeps.
Although they are still looking for it. The jump forward onto the other side. Ace, they get a nice stun through onto 2, but the boat is coming afterwards. The damage mitigation as well as the stun. It's onto both of them. Puppy's starting to fall. They've already lost Ace and Fata. VP put the kibosh on the problems that they were running into before. This Magnetize is doing a good bit of damage. And mid one is still alive. It might be a bit scary fighting into all of this. And with the buyback on Dragon Knight, I think VP needs to get out of here. Although they saved the Fiend's Grip. They're able to stun one and Fiend's Grip the other. These heroes are tanky, but there's only so much that you can tank through. Mid one still trying to dive into it. He might kill off no one here, but it's just the Aegis.
Yeah, it looks like they'll keep going here with the X. Do they want to try and finish it?
He misses on the Torrent again. And
all right, downtown Arrow Pasha.
oh, there's the break. They got the kill. That's enough. And VP, they only lose the Aegis and Secret lose 5.
That was Solo cracking the whip, I think, on that last couple. All right, guys. You know how you start losing this game where you're like way up, like, oh, guys, we just need a 5-man. Let's end this game. I'm not throwing this away. That's what that moment was.
Yeah. And the other nice part about having this Kunkka here is that you can just go for the XTP back home and you're suddenly back up to full HP, so they don't need to leave. They're fine. The only thing that's going to stop them is that tier 2 tower in the top lane.
I think they'll be more than happy with a double set of melee racks here.
Now Broodmother just now getting into that level 20 attack speed talent also, and Ramses has the butterfly ready for him if they so desire. And meanwhile they break, they punch, they kill. Ace dead again, and now Fata also getting run. And this game feels like it's getting out of hand as Secret are losing member after member of their team.
Yeah, I think Ace might have thought the time lapse was a passive or something. I don't know if he was playing a Baden earlier, but he has not been having a very easy time with that. He gets burst. They have a ton of bursts, there's no question. So they've skilled very well. You know, pick the right heroes here for the side of Virtus.pro, but Ace is just getting caught over and over again.
And now, what was just a couple of minutes ago, a 5,000 gold lead is ballooned up to 16,000. You're also getting close to some of those bigger talents on a couple of these heroes. Very, very bleak outlook for Team Secret at this point in the game.
Yeah, they did a great job in those movements across map for sure. Like, they spotted their moment. They knew that they had to play very aggressive to try and get back in this game, and they found it. And then the problem is those were risky plays that panned out for them, and then this play in the mid lane was also a little bit risky, right? This whole idea of like putting down the sentry and creating this bait, and Virtus.pro just had a great idea of just jumping off to the side because they had that vision down there. They saw the Dragon Knight, they initiate on him first, and even though because he went for the blink from no one, he wasn't able to actually use the Silver Edge debuff on the DK, it didn't matter because they're able to just like focus all their attention, and the rest of Secret was split up too much to actually have a good team fight, and then that suddenly your game's just over.
This is such a hard position to be in, but VP on the other side, you know, it starts to beg the question, not necessarily that this game is over, but they're in a position where they could probably win. Do you need to think about banning out that Broodmother first phase? I mean,
yes, definitely. This is what they're proving. They're saying, if you're not going to ban it, we're going to pick it every game until we lose. And this, I don't think this is going to be one of those losses.
30 minutes in now. And Bristleback does have a Radiance. He's been able to farm up to that, as well as the Crimson Guard and the Hooded Defiance. So some signs of life, at least in a small way, for Team Secret. Also picking up the Spirit Vessel for Earth Spirit. It does feel like they have some avenues to sort of fight, but being down 2 racks is just so difficult to deal with, particularly against Broodmother.
Yeah, it's just, if you leave the base, the pressure's always there. Can never feel secure about it. Mid one, if only they had just won, even if they didn't win one fight, if they had just like kind of stayed on the even footing by the time he got the Radiance, because you think of how they were fighting, and this was a hero that was sitting on 4k gold completely unspent, right?
Yeah.
He had not changed his actual itemization in that entire window while trying to build up this Radiance, and they lose the fight where they're 400 or so gold away from it.
It's crazy. Like, that makes such a difference in these engagements, because how many times did we see him just barely about to live, just barely able to walk away, or not walk away in that case, and then because of that, it ends up falling apart as 4 heroes running down the top lane. And Broodmother, again, like, how many heroes can you do this with, where you just sort of sit away from the rest of your team, and it's perfectly fine, because you got Spiders for Vision, and you're also just incredibly hard to kill in the first place.
Yeah, I like what they did with their support too, and the Avenge and the Earth Spirit, because they both have ways to kind of like scout out and catch that Brood, but the supporting cores came with the kill.
There's the Silver Edge, good swap away, but the X, they pull him back in after the swap. Oh, it hurts so bad, and Team Secret lose 2. They buy back on the Bristle. Bot is already dead though, and VP VP showing no mercy in this game number 1.
A bit of a twofer there. It's just gonna be one, and then the swap. It's like, oh no.
Dire's structures
Very nice
are
choice there in the Kunkka for Roger. A classic for him. Very good on the hero. And showing off in this one this season. He's actually had one of the better performances on the Virtus.pro side. He's 2-1 and 16.
That's a crazy one.
Of course, no one still remains as the only one on the side of Virtus.pro who has not died.
Radiant's top tower.
And now he has that tree grab talent too. He's just going to be pounding away at this tower. It's so hard to deal with. Yeah, no one's had a spectacular AC already done. Silver Edge, perfect itemization. They do roll in on him now.
Nice kick.
Well, they managed to find several with the silence also, but Roger hanging on and going to throw at that boat. Eventually, damage mitigation is going to be there. They take down the Bristleback, which doesn't mean Radiance is going to be thrown around. They reapply the Magnetize. No one's just going to TP back home. And still, looks like Virtus.pro are going to pull back in the Tiny after the fact. Actually, Broodmother ends up going down. Able to kill her.
No one doesn't really want to be here.
Yeah, this is maybe a little bit too far. Did VP overextend themselves? All right, no one's going back in. This is going to be a big combo. He hits onto one, breaks the DK, kills them both with the tree. Oh, no one.
Time lapse ever. And he just gets bursted from like 80% to 0.
And no one finishes with the triple kill in emphatic fashion. VP take it. First game over Secret.
Brood Mama.
Yeah.
You counterpick.